So in this video, we're going to be looking at 10 things that mafia movies don't show you. So if you're ready to find out what it is like to be a member of the mafia, then let's get into the video. Number 10, how much they have to hide. Most people think that being in the mafia is a dream. But really, it's more of a nightmare because you have to hide so many things from your family, friends, and even your coworkers. In fact, most people who try to live a life of crime end up getting caught by the police because they blab too much. You get whacked. It means you get killed, and no one knows about it. The mafia is all about being mysterious and having people fear you. So if you can't keep secrets, then you shouldn't even be thinking about joining the mafia. No, 9. It is not always about money. People get into the mafia for all kinds of reasons. Some want power, some want respect. And some just want to be part of a team. But money is rarely the main reason why people join the mafia. Sure, you make a lot of money in the mafia, but that's not what it's all about. It's about loyalty, respect, and power. Of course, everyone needs money to survive, but if you're only in it for the money, then you're not cut out for this life. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to make money, even if that means hurting people. If you can't do that, then you should stay away from the mafia. 8, having to get your hands dirty. If you're someone who hates getting their hands dirty, then you're not cut out for the mafia life. As a member of the mafia, you're going to have to get your hands dirty doing things you never thought possible. You may have to kill people with your own 2 hands, or you may have to steal things that do belong to you. No matter what it is, you're going to have to get your hands dirty. And if you can't do that, then you should leave the mafia life to the professionals. No. 7. Family first. In the mafia, family always comes first. Even if you're not related to the people in your crew, you become family by choice. And that means that you have to put their needs before your own. If you ever have a conflict of interest between your own personal life and your mafia life, you need to put the mafia first. Otherwise, you'll be kicked out of the crew and you'll be on your own. Trust me, you don't want to be on your own in the mafia world. You need to stick together because there are enemies everywhere. If you let down your crew, you'll be letting them down. And that's something you never want to do. No. 6. Living with the threat of violence. In the mafia, you're always living with the threat of violence. Whether it's from the police or from rival crews, you're always at risk of being attacked. That means you have to be prepared for anything at all times. You can never let your guard down. Even when you're at home with your family, you have to be careful because anyone could be an enemy agent trying to get close to you. You also have to be careful who you trust because, again, you never know who the enemy could be. It's better to be safe than sorry. No. 5. You can't be weak. Being weak is the worst thing you could possibly be in the mafia. If you're weak, you're a liability and you're not going to last long. You have to be strong, both physically and mentally. To survive in the mafia, you have to be able to handle yourself in a fight, and you have to be able to take orders without complaining. If you can't do those things, you're not going to make it. And that's why most people who try to live a life of crime end up getting killed. They're weak, and they don't know how to handle themselves, no? For punching above your weight. In the mafia, you have to be willing to punch above your weight. That means you have to be willing to fight people who are bigger and stronger than you are. You can't afford to be picky in the mafia. You have to take whatever job is given to you, no matter how dangerous it is. If you refuse to do a job, you'll be seen as a coward, and you'll be kicked out of the crew. And that's something you definitely don't want to happen. You might think that you'd rather be a civilian than a mafia member, but trust me, it's not that easy. Once you're in the mafia, you can't escape. No. 3. Taking care of business. Taking care of business is another important aspect of being in the mafia. You always have to be on the lookout for new ways to make money. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to make that money. That means you have to be honest, charismatic, and a good liar. You have to be able to talk your way into making money, but you also have to be willing to use violence if necessary. If you can't do both of those things, then you're not cut out for the mafia life. No. 2. The truth about the code of silence. The code of silence is one of the most important aspects of the mafia. You always have to keep your mouth shut, no matter what happens. If you talk to the police, you're going to get whacked. There's no 2 ways about it. And that's something you have to be willing to accept when you join the mafia. You might think that you'll be able to resist talking to the police if you're arrested, but trust me, you won't. They'll break you, and you'll talk before you know it. That's why it's so important to be careful in the first place. If you don't have to get involved in something, then don't. If you can stay out of trouble, then do it. But if you can't, then you have to be willing to accept the consequences. And that means keeping your mouth shut. No one. How hard it is to escape. If you're thinking about joining the mafia, just stop right there. It's not worth it. The only way to escape the mafia is by getting out while you can. Once you're in too deep, there's no turning back. You'll be killed if you try to escape. It's that serious. The best way to escape the mafia is to never join in the first place. But if you do, then you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get out. That means you have to be smart, resourceful, and lucky. If you can't be those things, then you're doomed. And that's all for this video. Let us know which point was your favorite. Thank you for watching.